The reservation at Harbor and Prime was for 7:30, and I arrived at 7:15 out of habit. It was Mom's 55th, and my brother Evan had picked the most exclusive steakhouse in the city and told everyone, repeatedly, that he was paying. I walked in wearing my simple black dress, the one I use for meetings and family dinners because it doesn't ask questions. The hostess smiled. "Miss Blake, good to see you again, your usual table." "Family tonight," I said. "Reservation under Mercer." "Oh, of course, they're already seated." She guided me to a round table in the middle of the dining room. Evan sat at the best angle, suit sharp, watch flashing. Mallory, his wife, looked poured into her outfit. Mom and Dad sat close to him. My sister Tessa and her husband completed the circle. One chair waited for me, like it always did. "Claire," Mom waved. "We weren't sure you'd make it. Evan said you might be stuck at work." "I made it work," I said, hugging her. "Happy birthday." "Thank you, sweetheart." Evan ordered champagne. A server brought the bottle. Evan inspected the label and gave a pleased nod. Glasses filled, bubbles rising like tiny alarms. Mallory turned to me, voice bright. "So, Claire, how's the restaurant thing? Still at that Italian place? Still serving tables?" Evan didn't bother lowering his volume. "Northbridge business degree. And she carries plates. 30 years old. Tragic." Tessa's mouth twitched. Dad's smile came easy, as if this was encouragement. I set my napkin on my lap. "Embarrassing for whom?" I asked. A young server stepped up, eyes warm with recognition. "Good evening, Miss Blake," she said. "Your usual filet, medium rare?" "Filet," I said. "Medium rare." "Perfect." The server, Lena, smiled. "And Miss Blake, thank you. The scholarship you funded means my sister starts culinary school next month." She moved on, and the table went quiet, champagne fizz suddenly loud. "Scholarship?" Mom asked, eyes searching mine. Evan laughed. "Claire tips to feel important." "It's a program," I said. "For our staff, 4 scholarships a year." Mallory's eyes narrowed over her glass. "Our?" Evan leaned in, voice slick with concern. "I'm up for a major promotion. They're judging my whole profile, leadership, network, stability." He nodded toward me. "A sister who waits tables doesn't help." Tessa looked down at her menu, lips pressed together, pretending not to listen. I set my water down. "So you want me to quit?" "I want you to upgrade," Evan said. "I can get you in at my company, reception, admin, something that doesn't make people whisper." A shadow crossed the linen. A man in a charcoal suit stopped beside us, gaze fixed on me, the kind of presence that makes waiters straighten. "Miss Blake?" I stood. "Yes." "Adrian Kwan, Nexagrid Technologies." He shook my hand. "I know we meet Monday, but I heard you were dining here and wanted to say hello. We're honored you're considering leading our Series B. I didn't realize I'd be interrupting a family celebration." Evan went rigid. Adrian's eyes flicked to him. "Evan Mercer, small world. I didn't know you were Miss Blake's brother." He turned back to me. "Your diligence is famous. Blake Ridge Capital doesn't miss." Dad's fork clicked. "Blake Ridge?" Adrian smiled, politely confused. "Miss Blake is the managing partner." Mom stared at me like the floor had shifted. Evan's voice came out thin. "Claire," he whispered. "What are you?" "I'm the owner," I said, keeping my voice low, "of Harbor and Prime, of Bellamara, of the other places you've been using as punchlines." Mallory's smile cracked. Dad blinked hard, as if a number had floated in front of him and refused to settle. Evan swallowed. "You serve?" "Sometimes," I said. "It keeps me close to the floor and the people who make the night run." I nodded toward Lena gliding between tables. "And yes, Blake Ridge Capital is mine. I started it after I bought my first restaurant and proved I could turn a mess into margins." Mom's hands trembled around her flute. "Why didn't you tell us?" "I tried," I said. "You were too busy telling the version where I was failing." Adrian inclined his head. "I'll let you celebrate. See you Monday, Miss Blake." His eyes flicked to Evan. "We'll talk at the office." When he left, Evan stared at his plate. "If you tell him about tonight—" "I'm not here to sabotage you," I said. My investment decision will be business. Your promotion is about character, and that's on you." Silence settled, heavy but clean. Mom reached across the linen and took my hand. "We're proud," she whispered. And it sounded like learning, not pity. Evan finally said he was sorry, and I told him the scholarships weren't charity, they were investment in people. Dinner arrived. I ate slowly, tasting the work I'd built. By dessert, Evan asked real questions, and I answered them. Monday, I led Nexagrid's Series B, with a board seat and culture reviews written into the terms. Afterward, I pulled on an apron for lunch at Bellamara, because power means nothing if it can't still touch the ground.